Hello, Rusty. Hello, Ryan. Hello, Ryan's friend. We're gonna start soon, and then we'll move the transition over. And it is time for your Marvel Crisis vlog. Wait! Did I roll a wild? Not only is it mine, not only is it Dan's, but it's also your Marvel Crisis.
Are you okay?
Marvel-
You had a really hard time talking tonight.
Yeah, listen, man. I got hit in the face with a shovel earlier, and I just haven't quite recovered from that.
Your name's not Nikki.
No, I'm not little either. But
Because you forgot to spit your gum out.
oh, that's what it is. Oh, nuts! All right, hold on.
You yell
What?
at yourself about it. You're like, Tim, you got a gum.
I do. But we are here to talk about some Marvel Crisis Protocol. We had a pretty awesome, huge reveal this week that I'm stoked for.
Huge.
I know Dan's stoked for. It met our eyes with thunderous applause. We're very excited. Taylor and I played a game this past Monday on the power phase
That was insane.
at 30 threat. King of the Hill match. It was really good. We even had some
King of
new
the Ring.
even had some new King of the Hill sound redemptions that people could do, which is super fun. I got to try out Malekith for the first time.
There were new redemptions?
There were.
I missed that.
There was that's my purse. I don't know you.
Yeah, I did hear that one.
And also the King of the Hill theme song. But it was difficult to find one that was an appropriate length and was not the entire theme song.
I just did South Park, though. I thought you would catch that.
Huh?
I did South Park.
On Monday?
No, just now. I don't know the King of the Hill theme song. I just did part of the South Park.
Oh, yeah. So, fair. I listen to a lot of Primus, so sometimes it being the South Park theme specifically doesn't, trigger that response. But, so yeah, Taylor and I played a really cool game. We'll go over that. We'll go over the new Blob card that AMG just revealed this week, which we are super stoked for. Last week, we speculated on it heavily. And then just a couple days later, that bad boy came right out.
Boom.
Which is very nice.
You're right about some things, way off about others.
Correct.
Chuck had a crazy call months ago that was pretty spot on.
I don't remember that at all. We'll get there,
Yeah.
right?
We'll get there.
Well, yeah.
Settle down.
I'm very excited. In addition to that, maybe some hobby things happened. We also have news to Dan because it just happened, and I didn't get around to telling the other people of the network yet.
What?
Something else that's very cool that's going to be happening next July.
That's really far out.
There's a local convention that's starting up that we're going to be a part of.
Local?
Like-
How local?
Pretty local. Like, within 2 hours.
That's really local for us.
Yeah.
We're kind of in the middle of nowhere for these things.
It is, reasonably, incredibly local as far as things go.
I mean, I feel like if it's within 2 hours, that's about as local as it gets.
Correct. But
Convention about 3 hours away. I kind of want to go to next month, but
yeah,
I don't know.
it's the same time as Warfare Weekend and everything though too. Not that we're going to that, but just there's a lot of conventions that week. There's also the one in Montreal's that same week, and what's it called? The taco
Power
truck
Phase.
one. I always want to say Alfonso's.
Alfredo's. Size 3 taco truck?
Size
about
3
that?
taco. Their conventions that week as well.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, there's a lot going on that week.
It's
First
like
week of November is pretty
Yeah.
stacked. But if you haven't already, head over to professionalcasual.com. You can find links to all of our other stuff, including streams, our actual plays, our other shows. We do a lot here, a whole lot of stuff,
A lot.
a lot of different
Like a
shows,
lot.
a lot of different things. That's the place to go. And if you're paying attention in the stream chat, you can also check out some of the links for some card sleeves and tokens that we're putting out as well. That are super neat, super cool. And for those of you that stick around, I think it'll be next week will be the next cleanup phase. Does that sound right?
Already?
It does seem like it
Let's
was.
look at the calendar.
I
No,
think-
the 27th is the last Thursday of the month.
Oh, okay.
It'll be 2 weeks from now.
So 2 weeks from today, for Patreon members at patreon.com/professionalcasual at every tier, even the $1 tier, you can throw $1 at it and we'll make it holla for you. We do another show that's for Patreon only, called The Cleanup Phase, where we go behind the scenes a little bit on the network, talk about some things that are coming up and out and soon, as well as, talk the real deal stuff that, we can't talk about on on regular stuff like the sandwiches and the flatbreads that Dan and I got when we went to Midgard Gaming's LVO qualifier.
That was pretty good.
It was very good. They had very good fries or something along those lines as well.
The chips.
Yes.
Danny said it's reasonably contractually local.
Yeah. So and it's super local for me because I'm in Syracuse. I already ruined it. That's where it is. It's in Syracuse.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm in Syracuse a lot, so I was like, oh yeah, that's like pretty much work. I could just commute to work on a day off.
And Syracuse is super easy to get to as well.
It is. I really like going there.
81.
But so that'll be in July. Details on that are going to be very sparse for the time being. But let's get a whole bunch of people there and absolutely unruin it.
Mostly casual con in person.
No, it's already like they already have names and stuff, but
Oh.
we're being maybe included at the early end of it.
Fair
But that said, what else?
Ruined.
Probably a whole bunch of stuff, man. There's always more.
There's always more. Yes.
The good news about me and Dan on this show is that guess what? We're going to talk about a lot of things. We just have no idea what it is until our ADD brains get triggered by some old comic from the 30s.
I mean, there's a very loose framework of what we're talking about, which this week is the Blob card.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the usual games played, hobby thoughts, which I haven't got to do much hobbying lately.
Yeah.
I started building the 501st Battle Force I got for Legion recently. The ATRT is one of the worst models I've ever built. Like, in terms of, like, directions and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I just want directions in the box again, please.
Why?
I'm sick of the QR code stuff.
Why?
I don't want to do it.
Why?
Because then I'm looking at my phone, trying to put the stuff together, and then I don't touch my phone long enough because I'm gluing things together, and it goes off, and I got things in my hand, and I got to open it back up again.
Why aren't you doing it on your tablet or on your laptop?
Because that takes up too much room.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, because I haven't done that yet. Well, because I guess I could scan the QR code on the Chromebook.
Just go to the site. It's in the same spot. Right?
Have you tried to find anything on AMG's site without having a direct link?
Yeah. I don't usually use the direct link. I just go to the site and I hit Control F and then I type in the thing I'm looking for and it's just there.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
No, but
especially
with the Battle Force thing, it was like, okay, here's the QR code to the directions, and the directions for the ATRT specifically.
Hold on. A whole lot of podcasts creating a whole lot of things right now, talking about these Battle Force boxes, and maybe we just leave that to them, and we completely blow past it, and that's okay.
Fine.
So you're gonna get us in trouble again.
Again? What are you talking about?
No, I like to say that. But Dan, so you hobbied a little bit. What were the parts you liked about it? What were the positive parts of your hobbying?
Well, I got some models together.
Oh, awesome!
Which was great. Echo and Fives, but Sentinels. At time of recording, come out tomorrow.
Yep.
The street date, Sentinels and Big Schmitty himself. Red Skull, Master of Hydra with the Hydra Goons. Whatever. Hydra Troopers? Is that their
they're
name?
troopers. Yep.
Super excited for all that, of course.
Same. I am very excited for those. I really want to see those Hydra Troopers on the table. I want to see all the wacky stuff that people can do and all those new Hydra cards that we went over, right?
There's so many.
And they're so rad. And I just want to whisper, "Hail Hydra," like literally all the time.
All the time.
So, did you... the one thing that I want to talk about very briefly, and a lot of people think that we're in very close with Bearded Dragon Games down online, and for the most part we are. But I just want you to know, the models don't come out till tomorrow. Anthony has just been sending us pictures and holding the models up against the window saying, you can't get this until tomorrow. And it's stupid and it makes me really mad. But
it's pretty upsetting.
Because
he
they're
sends
not
pictures of piles of stuff on the counter.
Uh-huh.
It was like street dates Friday.
Yep. So but what that means though is that means they're still on pre-order. So you can head over to Bearded Dragon Games out online and get 15% off your order of the Sentinels, the MK4s, the Primes, listen, the whole shebang, as well as Red Skull, Master of Hydra. If you happen to miss it and he remembers to update that and take that off pre-order, then you can just use code PCME10 at checkout to get 10% off your order. Make our local game store your local game store. But I don't really want to put this off anymore. I just want to get right into the Blob card.
Blob.
So
Fred J. Dukes, everybody's favorite.
Freddie Dukes, the old Fadukes.
Frederick himself.
So Blob.
The Blob.
We were pretty... Oh, you thought he was going to be a 4, right?
I was hoping he'd be a 4 just so he would be real tough.
So
have a ton of health.
That's always my thing too, is most weeks, especially about characters that I really care about. I'm like, I really want them to be a 4, 5, or maybe a 7 because I love him. I want him to be awesome.
Right? I want him to be so good.
But he is size 3. We were spot on as far as him being a short mover for physical defense as well. 2/2 though on the energy and mystic. 6 stamina. At 3 threat, size 3. All that tracks for me for the most part. Seems perfectly spot on.
Nothing too crazy. When I saw he was a 3, everything else is like, okay, that fits for a 3.
Well, and there's a surprising amount of things going on here. Some people might call him basic. I don't think that's the case. We're going to see some slight tweaks to things that are on a lot of other characters, but something that makes them really kind of just unique for Blob.
Right. He's like super close to being real basic, but he's got one or two little things that just kind of puts him above that.
So I think there was a couple things here where he could have very easily breached into a 4 threat. But they put a couple caveats on some of the powers that we've seen before, but made it kind of unique to Blob.
Yeah.
So to get right into it, his strike, pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
It's a range 2, strength 5, physical. He gains power equal to the damage dealt and has push on a wild. The push goes up to size 3, which is super awesome.
Yeah.
And it's a short push.
He is super strong, so that makes sense.
He's a strong man.
I'm pretty okay with this.
Not to be confused with strong man though, or strong guy.
Strong guy. Oh man, I wish we could strong guy.
Thunderous splash, and this was the surprise I think, Dan, for both you and I, as far as this inclusion, because it's awesome.
Thunderous splash.
Range 3 for 3 power, strength 7.
Belly flop.
Getting in there. Yeah, you're gonna get belly flop.
He's jumping up and landing right on top of you. Boom.
It's so perfect. I really, really, really like it a lot.
I love it.
Before damage is dealt, place this character within range 1 of the target character. So it's one of
got
those
a
charges.
movement power?
Yeah, he's getting up there and he's gonna splash you. An explosive force. After this attack is resolved, other characters, not other enemy characters, other characters. And like I said, it's one of those tweaks, right, to prevent him from being a 4. If it was enemy characters, that would in fact be better. But they went with this one. So other characters within range 2 of this character are pushed away from this character's short. Characters pushed away suffer 1 damage. Not only is it a push, it does auto damage.
Oh, I missed there. Pushed away short and take a. I thought I totally missed that. Wow, that's so much better.
Mm-hmm.
He needs that wild so bad.
Yeah, he does.
Oh man,
yes, he does.
I love that you place him before damage is dealt,
so
you can really, control who's getting that push, where they're pushing, because they're pushed away from Blob, and then they're taking that damage.
Not only that, here's a big huge thing on why before damage is dealt is so important, right? Blob can thunderous splash grunts into non-existence and still get the place. So normally a lot of the
right away, right?
Yeah, because they KO right away. So a lot of characters that have those places is after the attack is resolved. It's after the attack does damage, something along those lines. This happens before that. So if that character is in fact removed from the field, he still gets there because he's not doing the damage unless his tummy is dropping on your head. And that's just perfect. So perfect.
Right.
All right.
I love it. That's a great attack.
It really is. And range
So
2, just flat damage. I love it. It's so good. And it's inexpensive too.
I mean, anytime there's flat damage is just good.
Right?
It's so good.
I know Rev in chat is talking about how he's got to prepare him for Everwinter. I will say, got a confirmation too. I've been talking to the Wicked Dicey guys. They wanted some input on some of the prizes to have on their prize wall. Blob and Pyro are going to probably be in that prize wall. It comes out literally the day before the convention. And they're working on securing a supplier to make sure that they'll have them in time. In addition to that, Sentinels. also going to be on that prize wall, as well as Red Skull, Master of Hydra, and potentially some rival set.
Of Wolverine and Sabretooth?
If that comes out beforehand, too, because it does, right? It comes out in November, I think.
No, I don't think there's anything in November.
Oh. When does that come out?
Is it the same day as Pyro and Blob? Is that December 9th as well?
Maybe it is.
Because I know the tank is January. I think Rivals is also December.
And Rusty, Rusty had mentioned that he thought it was going to be very close to Lizard, and pretty spot on.
Quite similar.
But moving on to Catch, little man.
Superpower,
3 power, can pick up an interactive terrain feature of size 3 or less and throw it medium. Pretty great, actually.
Medium.
Yeah,
that's pretty far.
It's a medium. Yeah. So once again, I think they're really good at fine tuning some of these things to make it really fit as a 3. Having it be a size 3 throw and medium, very good. 3 is pretty standard as far as expense there, but it can't throw enemy characters.
Right.
Kind of keeps it within range, right? Also, super good for Brotherhood, right? Brotherhood wants to break a whole bunch of stuff. He can do so.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, he fits with Magneto pretty well.
He also has that tickles.
This is where he shines. This is his superpower.
And it really is. And once again, this is one of those things. Is it a nerd to pain? No. Is it an invulnerability? No. There's an additional effect on it, but normally inert to pains can go to a minimum of 0. You can prevent all damage. That does not work here. And it has to be from an attack. So you're not going to be using this against throws, explosions, bleeding, things like that you can kind of get away with when you're using
Inert to pain.
Yeah, inert to pain, nice punch, or built to take it. So, that tickles. 1 power. If this character would suffer damage from an attack, it may use this superpower. Reduce the amount of damage suffered to a minimum of 1.
That's how I read it the first time. I was like, wow, he's like Super Giant, but for everything? That's awesome. Oh, wait, no, it's not that good.
After the attack is resolved, if the attacking character is within range 3, actually pretty solid range there, by the way, this character may push the attacking character away short. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And this is where Chuck had a thing where he wanted him to push people away from him when they attacked him.
Yep.
Here you go. That tickles.
Spot on. When looking up stuff for Blob, I constantly run across that picture from the 90s show of Wolverine punching him in the stomach and slowly getting like pulled in or whatever.
Yeah.
So it fits so well there. He's not going to be getting one shot, right? Yeah, 100%.
The big thing here is like, yeah, he's reducing it by 1. He's got to pay a power to reduce it by 1. That's good, not great. But then the chances of him negating a second attack into him is pretty good. Pushing away short if they're within 3.
Yeah.
Like, you
could really ruin some stuff
range,
there for people.
Yeah, push them back. Like, wow. I love that he's got 3 ways to push characters. 3! That's a lot!
It is a lot, actually. Is it just 3? No, he's got 4.
4?
He can push on the strike.
Yeah,
he pushes with explosive third. He can throw people. Oh no, he can't throw people. You're right. You're right. But yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Just rad.
I love it. It's so good. I read it wrong the first time, but I was like, wait, but then he pushes him away. Chuck was right. This is so good. Get people out of position. You're not going to move up onto an objective and just attack Blob to put some damage on him because he might just push you off the point. Like, he is such a good control piece.
Yes.
Which I think Rev...
And an unsuspected one, too.
Yeah. I thought he was just going to be a tank that stood there and laughed at you and maybe hit you back a little bit. But he's actually moving people all over the place. Rev Rightman was just saying that he... oh shoot, I lost what he said. Oh, he's a good control piece at a 3 threat, which is what Brotherhood kind of needed because they have really expensive pieces and then a few cheap pieces. They had like
really only
Mystique
a couple.
and Quicksilver at 3. Is that it?
And I mean Toad at 2, but yeah.
No other 3 threats, right? It was just those 2.
I don't think so.
So having Blob in there is going to be great.
Yeah, potentially Blob and Pyro both at 3s. I mean,
yeah, we're still kind of assuming Pyro will be 3, which I think is fair.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if they gave Brotherhood another 2 threat.
Right.
So, But I think Brotherhood really needed that because they had their heavy hitters with Magneto and Scarlet Witch, and even Sabretooth is a 4.
Yep.
So like having a little bit cheaper options, I think, is only good for Brotherhood.
Yeah. Yep. Completely agree. And especially one with throws that can break stuff, has a little bit of damage resistance. Granted, once again, kind of feeding into that, they only do. Brotherhood is heavy physical damage, so this doesn't break that mold either.
Yeah.
But his last power is an innate called Nothing Can Move the Blob. This character cannot be pushed or thrown as a result of attack special rules. And once again, very important distinction there.
Yeah.
Can be picked up and chucked with a
superpower.
With a superpower. Can be pushed with other things, just not as part of attacks.
I love it.
So once again, I think he's a 4 if that how that tickles is a straight up a nerd to pain with the additional effect. If it's no pushes or throws at all, and Catch Little Man can throw people. I mean, he's a push 4 at that point, like very 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 nearly a 5, because those are really good things. You get a couple more stamina. So I think they did a really bang up job here. I actually like him a lot. I'm super excited to use him, and because he's on the inexpensive end, I don't like to say cheap.
Fair.
He's inexpensive. I can throw him in all sorts of stuff.
He's gonna be splashed in, thunderous splashing all over the place.
I'm splashing him in Midnight Suns. I love big cheap bases bumping in the night.
Oh my god, yeah.
You know?
He's gonna find a nice home in Kingpin Syndicate too.
Yes, he will. Yep.
Put him on that point, counts as 2. Yeah, come over here and hit me. I'll just belly bump you back off of it. Go away. I count as 2 people.
Yep.
Like, yeah, you do, Blob.
Maybe even being a little conservative there, Blob. But yeah, as far as his injured side too, I do not believe there are any changes. Not to health, not to nothing. So yeah, I think he's stellar. I like him. I love him. I'm all about it. Now, Dan, I know that you were the energy defense had.
I'm a little disappointed his energy defense.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it is below average because I was fully expecting it to be 4.42.
Yeah.
Because the Blob just takes hits, he doesn't care. If it was 4.32, I'd be more okay with it. I'm not totally understanding why he's got 2 energy defense. Because you think about like the X-Men, Rogue punches him. Yeah, 4 physical defense makes perfect sense.
Yep.
I love that. But like Cyclops blasts him with his optic blast. It's not going to do anything more than Rogue punching him.
But if Cyclops is blasting him within range 3, he's going to take 1 damage off of it and belly bounce him somehow backwards.
True.
You know?
I mean, I think that tickles makes up for it a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
But still, like somebody like Cable or Rocket or Hawkeye hitting him from more than range 3 away with energy is just going to take him down so fast, potentially, that I just don't understand why it's 2. Because maybe it's just different interpretations of it. I totally get that.
Yep.
Where that's how I see Blob. Obviously, the developers didn't see it the exact same way, where they've seen his weakness there in other things that maybe I haven't read. I know a lot of things like Nothing Can Move the Blob, him only not being pushed or thrown from attack rules.
Yeah.
On the stream the other day, Dallas was painting Blob, and somebody was like, "Did you not include superpowers for balance reasons?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Not really for balance. No, it's just, in comics you see people do things to Blob to move him.
Yeah.
Like, Magneto or somebody can like lift up a bunch of ground underneath him and throw him that way.
Someone could certainly mind control him, or when they do a lot of those things.
Kind of things. So obviously there's some in-comic reason why they reduced his energy defense. I'm just surprised by that.
Yeah.
But it's just especially at a 3 threat, he shouldn't have like 4s across the board.
No.
Like that. No. Certainly not going that far. But the fact that it's lower than average is a little like, huh.
Well,
okay.
So, and there does need to be some balance, right? And even though, they said that they didn't do that for balance, but I mean, with a 4 physical defense and a nerd, and they can't be, you know what I mean? You gotta have a weakness.
Yeah, he's already got a lot going for him, so I'm not like
he's already too good looking. You know what I mean? Like you can't. you got to balance it out somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go on the internet and yell about it a whole bunch. I'm just kind of like,
because you already did.
Again, yeah. No. It's just kind of like, oh, I mean, I would have liked to have seen it higher, but oh well,
Yeah.
that's what it is. So,
Yep. But I love it. Where are you excited to splash him in? And I mean, or is it in Midnight Suns as well? Is it in Avengers? Like, where do you put the Blob outside of Brotherhood or Freedom Force?
so I don't usually feel this affiliation, but I kind of actually like him in Dark Dimension
Ooh,
because Dormammu usually has very few people with him.
yeah,
He having a control piece like this is huge, and then he's going to be able to thunderous splash way more often, gaining extra power.
yeah,
Power phase.
yeah.
Big base. He's going to go claim those objectives that Dormammu's busy doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that.
Yeah,
Play more Dark Dimension to get more used to it, but
yeah.
I don't know why that one popped into my head.
I dig it. I think that's one that doesn't really get thought of a lot. Dark Dimension and who really fits in there, and threes really do. Dormammu loves to bring a whole ton of buddies.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty stellar.
And he needs help with objectives, so having someone like Blob that can get people off of them relatively easily, I think is a big thing.
I like him in Hydra. But I would like everyone to just kind of get a little used to now. Every time a character reveal comes out, I'm just thinking about how I'm going to use them in Hydra. But
Instead of Steve Avengers, it's Hydra.
It's Hydra. Yeah. He's not immune to any special conditions, so I can give him poison and then give it to other people. He has high health and a high physical defense, so I can make sure that he is healing constantly by moving those conditions around. Also, it would just be awesome for Blob to be able to punch someone and incinerate him, or punch someone and poison him, or punch someone and shock him. Also, just as a whole, I'm coming around on shock.
When we remember it, it can be it can be a big deal.
I've been the champion, or one of the champions, because I think everyone in their own right is a little bit of a champion for Incinerate. But
we've been big on Incinerate since it debuted.
But Shock and Root are really rising their ranks for me. Like,
Root is criminally underrated.
Yeah,
because Root's just a pain. Like, I gotta pay one and then do my superpower. Dumb.
And just I'm a Sinister can apply Root. I'm a very, very big Sinister person. I don't know if you saw some of the announcements for some of the comic events that are going to be coming down the pipe here in a little while.
The Future of Sinister. What's it called?
Sins of Sinister.
Sins of Sinister. Yeah.
They said it's pretty much. Oh, it's like Age of Apocalypse, but if Sinister did it, and I was like, what? Go on.
Yes. Ever since the dawn of X with the Sinister secrets, have been, and just how they've used Sinister in the last 3 years of X-Men has been so amazing. And he's really such a better character than just the maniacal, crazy doctor from the 90s.
With the shark teeth from the 90s cartoon.
Right, like he looked cool and he did cool stuff, but now he is just amazing. And just the bar of Sinister and like the whole thing from AVX when they like found out about Bar Sinister and has millions of clones, and he's so good.
And just some of the scenes in that particular storyline of like newspaper boy Sinister stabbing another Sinister in the back, but it was all part of this other Sinister's plan the whole time. And it's just like, it's so stupid and over the top and
perfect.
It really was perfect.
Well, he just got kidnapped by the Eternals in Judgment Day, the AXE event.
Yeah.
And because they were trying to revive a dead Celestial and they needed a genetics expert.
Yeah, he's your guy.
So he's just like messing with them because like the Eternals don't know how to deal with Sinister. They're like way too straight and narrow.
Yeah.
And they're just not used to his buffoonery that is actually genius.
So
he's so great.
I really want another Sinister. I want a Sinister that's a 3 that plays like a 5 but costs 6. Like
what?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what people should say when playing him and trying to play against him. Is wait,
Sinister
what?
Without a cape.
Correct. It would be a Sans cape Sinister.
Or could it be like the Sinister in the suit, kind of like suit Loki? You know what I'm talking about?
I really like that. Yeah, with the goatee and I dig that one a lot.
They actually just revealed, it was a few months ago now, so it's not too spoilery, in X-Men before the whole Judgment Day event, where there's been this bad guy called Dr. Stasis, who was like making weird animal hybrids and whatnot, and they Cyclops and Sync confronted him in the sewers underneath New York City, and they were fighting, and Cyclops just was like, I'm done with this, blasts him, takes his helmet off, and it's like, it's Mr. Sinister. It looks like Sinister. It's Nathaniel Essex, but he's got a club on his forehead, I'm pretty sure, instead of a diamond. So they're leaning into, like, supposedly he is an ungenetically modified Nathaniel Essex who says the Sinister that's, like, with Krakoa isn't the real Sinister. He's the real Sinister. And it's like, this is so great. I love it so
But
much.
it has a club on his forehead
got a
instead
club.
of a... But he was disguised as Cyclops?
No,
Or-
he was disguised as this Dr. Stasis character.
Oh,
It was his
okay.
a different persona than
Gotcha.
Sinister. It's so good. They haven't developed it much because things kind of got hijacked by the big event. But,
Yeah.
like, I want to know more about this guy.
I love
Who
it.
is this? What's happening?
I
This
love
is
that
so good.
so much. And that just because he has a different symbol on his head too could mean that there's even more out
Right,
there.
so is
we
that-
now need the heart one.
Yeah, and what's the last one?
Not Spade. Right?
Yeah, Spade.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was either club or spade. It was a black club or a black spade he had on his
Oh, I
forehead. I forget
absolutely adore that.
which. So good.
But yeah, Rev Right Mad in chat. Belly flap incinerate, I think, to circle it back to Blob. Pretty spot on. So I'm trying to think about other places I would really like to use Blob, and I think
What's a club?
I like it in Cabal. He could use a little bit of help just with some additional power generation, like a Red Skull Cabal.
I think pretty much anywhere that gives him a little more power generation because he's got the strike.
Yep.
And he's taking damage. That's it.
Mhm.
Like he's a little power hungry because you're going to be using a ha that tickles whenever you can.
Right.
You're going to be using that most of the time. But I think you were saying this before we started recording that it won't be long before people either just won't attack Blob if they don't have to,
Right.
or they're going to only attack Blob if they're outside of range 3.
Right. Or, it's one of those things, right? Because that tickles has to happen, triggers, when the character would suffer damage from an attack.
Right.
So if he's powerless, he can't use it against you. It's not like some of the other ones where,
Right.
you know what I mean? You attack and now they have the power to counterattack or something along those
That's
lines.
a good point.
Oh,
I just realized I want to play him with Red Rune training so we can have stealth for a round.
Yep.
Run him right up there, sit him on a middle objective with Hydra going for world domination. He's there. Now he's
Yep.
got stealth. You got to get close to him, just bumps you back away.
So, speaking of that,
Synergy.
why I want to use him in Hydra is so I can pull off the High Council, right? Sometimes you need people in specific areas, and Blob is the person that could very well do that for you. Sometimes you need a comic book stand out of the way so Baron Strucker can poison 2 people within range 2. And Blob's the guy that's going to either push them there or, push them there in a different way.
Oh, yeah. I kind of can't wait to see what you do with Blob and Hydra.
I'm very excited
You
for
got
it.
a lot of ideas.
Yep.
Got a lot of ideals.
And I commit to the bit. So
Oh, absolutely.
I've already bought my my Blob outfit. So
Your Blob fit.
my Blob fit. So we'll see how that goes.
So he's good in Red Skull Master of the Hydra as well. During the power phase, ally characters gain a power if they're holding or contesting objective token.
Yep.
That's like Blob's job. So getting a little bit of extra power so he can do more throwing and blocking damage and thunderously splashing.
Absolutely.
I love it. He's great.
He's positively perfect for me.
Practically perfect in every way.
And just having spenders like that are pretty inexpensive, give them some longer range and have really cool effects. Like I will be thunderously splashing whenever possible.
Yes.
Which hopefully I can make happen every turn.
I can't wait to see the actual model and how big he is. He looks big. He's on a medium base, but it kind of looks like a small base because of how huge he is. Just looking at the picture from the Transmissions article, like he looks as big as one of those cars.
Yeah. Yep.
He's gonna make Omega Red look small, I think, as a size 3.
I agree. Actually, I think he probably will do just that. Do you think he'll be in the Weapon X program?
Blob?
Yeah.
No.
Why?
Because in the comics he wasn't. He's just
Well,
immune.
they base everything off of the movie Wolverine Origins, or X-Men Origins Wolverine, where Blob was in X-Force. Weapon X, sorry.
I'm gonna rage quit.
Why?
because that movie made me
Yeah,
so
fair.
mad.
Yeah, fair.
The closest I ever got to walking out of a movie, and it was in the first 2 minutes.
But just think about it, right?
And it didn't get better.
You're not wrong.
I mean, okay, Ryan Reynolds as Wade Wilson
was
fine.
First 10 minutes of that movie were actually pretty solid.
Until, honestly, yeah. The first 10 minutes, other than the nonsense in Canada, when he was like part of the Weapon X program, was kind of cool. The fight with the Blob in the boxing ring was kind of cool. That's about it. Dominic Monaghan, who's Mary in Lord of the Rings, could make light bulbs light up or something.
Yeah, I completely forgot he was in the movie, honestly.
I'm sure he did too.
I wasn't a huge fan of the origin of the Blob being called the Blob, is that he misheard Wolverine say bub.
I forgot about that.
That was a little, yeah.
Right, because when he was part of the program, he was just a big dude.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until like there was like the time jump, and then he was like he looked like the Blob, and it was just kind of, he was just a fat guy, and it was like, oh, but that's kind of lame.
Happens to the best of us, but still pretty stoked. I still kind of think that we might see a Tactus card that's similar to at least one of the Juggernauts ones, where it's either like a mind if I cut in, where he can bodyguard and get in it, or not, maybe not a bodyguard, but move closer to someone attacking a friend and then be able to hit him, or being able to have a Tactus card that will allow him to throw an enemy character, like a one-time use.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I kind of hope to see that at least in a Tactus card form, because throwing characters is just objectively better than terrain most of the time. Obviously, with Magneto's Brotherhood, you want to be destroying terrain.
Yeah.
But
and I mean, and his best home, right, is probably where he should obviously be, which is Brotherhood, because he does want some more power, and that's a good way to put it on him.
Freedom Force too, because they get power refunded at least, so he can claim an objective, stand there, be the Blob about it, and then still have the power to do things like tickles or throw and stuff. So and the thing too is with X-Men, right, is first class is awesome. Yeah,
super great.
One of the best cards.
It's pretty much the affiliation ability for Freedom Force, and I don't think Freedom Force gets enough credit for having an incredible card as, you know.
I like Freedom Force's ability, except that you have to have the power already. Right. It's not just free. You get refunded. Correct. So like it's still really good,
but it does need to be there first.
Right. Whereas first class, you don't need power at all. You just interact for free to begin with.
Ravensguard says, "Don't forget his Tactus cards to KO a tiny character with flight."
Oh no! Can we have a catfishing card? I don't know how.
Oh yeah!
Ultimate Blob catfishing, Ultimate Beast, and that so good.
And so we talked a little bit before the show about how were you thinking about maybe doing your Blob?
Like painting him?
Yeah.
I don't plan on doing anything different than standard.
Oh,
no navy blue.
Gotcha.
Leotard.
What about a mustache?
Oh, I was thinking about giving him his current handlebar mustache as the bartender of the Green Lagoon. I do love that look.
I mean,
I don't know.
Wouldn't be difficult to green stuff like a towel over his shoulder, you know, like the bar back towel. I think that could work.
I mean, if I could sculpt, I would give him like the Hawaiian shirt and shorts, like cargo shorts. I can't, like a mustache is about as much as I can do.
I think with his right hand being gripped up like that, you could absolutely cut off the bottom of like a drinking glass or a bottle or whatever and put that in his hand too.
I'll certainly think about that. I mean, so many of those bottles from kits.
Yep.
Could be good. If
I ever get another cable, I'm going to replace all his pouches with them. Got a table with, I got a table with Choco Pockets. I have a cable with taco pockets.
He has so many tacos on him.
There's a lot of tacos on there, man. But sometimes that's what you got to do.
Where mine went. They're probably in an old baggie somewhere.
Just as a very quick aside, when talking about the Weapon X program and the Wolverine movie and stuff like that, do remember, open call out, P.O. Box G, as in, G, what are you going to do with your motorcycle? I hope it's sending it to P.O. Box G, West Oneonta, New York, 13861, when that Rivals box does come out. If you don't want your motorcycle, don't do it at your own personal expense, But if you happen to come across ones that maybe you won't get to or won't need, I would really like your motorcycles, please. Because I think it's awesome, and I want to do a bunch of really rad stuff with them. But
if we get enough, do we use them as objective markers?
100%.
Because we gotta go, but we gotta revisit the motorcycle mayhem.
We do.
It's been a long time since we did that.
We should probably do that sooner than later, just because
let's hold off on
to prepare ourselves for.
Oh, like play test it one more time.
Yeah.
Before we have a bunch of motorcycle tokens.
Now that we have twice as many characters as the first time we played it, probably. I mean,
maybe.
Seeing Kingpin, I think Kingpin was a newer model then.
No, we did it like less than a year ago.
Oh, was it less than a year?
Because you did a bunch of your
was at the start of the year.
around the start of because you did the Christmas and New Year's themed ones.
That's right.
So it was probably getting close to a year ago we did the motorcycle one.
Rev said if he wins the Rivals panel, I can have the motorcycle from it. All right.
That's a virtual handshake.
Yes, it is. The pact has been sealed. But yeah, I'm super stoked for him. Let's I suppose talk about this game that Taylor and I played on Monday though.
Yo, will you tell me about this ridiculous game that you guys played? Because Taylor, it was in the chat and he was like, "Hey Tim, how many what do you want to play Monday?" And I just chimed in. I was like 37, just being ridiculous. And Tim was like, "Yeah, let's do 30."
Yeah, all right.
And I was like, "Wait, what?"
Sounds good.
I mean, I'm not gonna be there till 11 o'clock, so that's fine.
It was a longer. It was a long one.
I need to watch it on demand on Twitch because I watched some of it here and there, but I like put kids to bed and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I caught bits of it, but I saw it was like 3 hours and 45 minutes.
It was a hefty game. So we played 30 Threat King of the Hill, King of the Mountain, arena mode, whatever you want to call it.
Ring.
We made a custom scenario for it. So 30 Threat, I played Wild Hunt. Taylor played X-Men Gold. Effectively, the scenario was you could use some teleporters. It was on what do you call it? Map F. So there was the four outer and the one in the center. The point in the center was a King of the Hill token. Whoever picked that up got 1 additional die on all their attack rolls, and if they attacked during their turn, they also got fast healing 2. If they did not attack during their turn, they took 2 damage.
It's a big swing.
Big swing. In addition to that, you had to interact with entrances to the arena to get in. Those were also contestable points, so there was a maximum of 7 points on the field at any one time, 1 for each of the arena entrances, and then 3 points for holding the King of the Hill token.
Big swing. 3 is woof.
Right, and so the only other major caveat was once you went into the arena, there was no way out. So you were stuck there.
It was just a brawl.
It was a brawl.
It's like a game of Age of Sigmar, just a big scrum in the middle.
Yes. So, I mean, they were pretty big lists, but I had, let's see if I can remember them all. Malekith, Sin, Crossbones, Bullseye.
I took a picture of it so I can confirm.
Hulkbuster, and who else?
You're missing 2.
I am. It's only 2.
There's one that you had to take.
Cable, yes, because there was redemption from Axel the week before the week before to play Cable. So that means the last one was Elektra and the Hand Ninjas.
There you go.
I'm shocked I remembered all those. I can't remember when I have like 15 points of characters, let alone when I have twice that much. But
well, you're getting good at remembering Shock.
That's true. That's right. So Taylor brought X-Men Gold. He had Storm, Cyclops, Wolverine, X-23, Honey Badger,
Beast, Colossus, Magic?
And Magic. Yeah.
Was she there?
Yep.
Okay.
So Hulkbuster got the King of the Hill token initially, which made it very difficult
13 health
to pop
to go
off.
through with, what is it, built to take it?
Built to Take is just so good. It's so good.
I hate going against that ability. I'm just like, no.
And then I forget what he had, but dude, he had an incredible game with Colossus.
I saw he had one amazing X Slam.
Yes. Well, and he had a couple, it's so wild. His rolls throughout the game were, it was like a roller coaster. They were pretty good, and then just nothing for a while. An X Slam that was 5 blanks, no wilds, just really disappointing stuff. But He popped and KO'd Hulkbuster.
Nice.
Dazed Malekith. Would have probably KO'd him until Malekith used Sacrifice on the little baby Iron Man.
Oh no! You're a monster. That's the worst.
He came in, I think it was with an X-Slam. And he had done a ton the first time, and I was like, I don't want to deal with this again. All right, little boy, get in there, take it. You got this. Don't worry about it. Obliterated baby Iron Man.
I'm sure he was really pleased about that.
So it's one of those things, right? Where like, was he thrilled that I saved Malekith? No. Was he thrilled that the thing that saved Malekith was like a 4 health Iron Man baby? Also no. Was it nice to have KO'd Hulkbuster? Absolutely.
Yeah, no potential for him getting back up, getting rebuilt. Yeah, getting baby Iron Man off the table is important.
Mm-hmm.
But when it could have been more damage on Malekith is like, oh.
Yeah, and a stagger and all the other stuff. But so he ended up so when he initially popped Hulkman Ironbuster, he did get the King of the Hill token on Colossus. Great move.
Good spot to have.
Insanely difficult to bring down Colossus.
He had Rogue too.
He did have Rogue.
Say Rogue. I feel like we forgot Rogue.
I do think we forgot Rogue.
There's 30 threat. I'm sure there's another one hanging around.
Yeah, there was a lot there. I knew all the Wolver babies were there. Cyclops, Storm, and Magic survived to the end too. A lot of KOs too.
I bet.
Bullseye took himself out at one point from Cyclops's quick draw thing.
Oh,
so
actually got to use that?
Yeah.
I feel like that him and Hawkeye never get to do that.
Yeah, so he got it and dazed a Bullseye with it.
Nice.
Bullseye, apparently the only person for some reason that could do damage to Colossus.
Naturally.
It makes zero sense.
It makes perfect sense for Bullseye, though.
Correct. Yeah.
Just because.
Constantly rolling. He rolled 0 damage against Cyclops, which is why he took 4 back and dazed himself. Literally was rolling 4 to 6 successes on throwing knife against Colossus every single time. It was silliness.
What?
But no, it was such a stellar game. I just moved Malekith around the whole time and was blood boiling. I was only using his size 4 beam.
I remember at one point you were like, "Oh, people talk about how bad blood boil is, but I'm gonna keep doing it."
I'm just gonna keep doing it, and it did. It worked out very well for me in the beginning because we had that scrum in the middle in the arena for the King of the Hill. It was just like, yeah, I'm hitting Storm, Beast, and Magic or whatever all at the same time. Why not? Then when trying to take out what should have been relatively easy, do the last couple damage to Colossus. He was at like 5 out of 7 stamina. He can't use his Count's Blanks successes against Mystic attacks. And X-23 was also injured and within range of that. I was like, she's only rolling 2. This should be pretty easy. I should be able to take out both of them in this. Didn't take out either one of them.
Naturally.
Left X-23 on 1. Left Colossus on 1. And I was like, this. I get it, Dan. All right. Makes sense.
You feel my pain.
I did.
It's so bad when you leave him on 1 and you're like, I just can't do anything else.
But that was with double blood boils. That was 2 beams into both of them. Had an incredible use of Marked for Death as well. So
I hate that card.
Did get Colossus down. Had the token drop. But I didn't have anyone anywhere near range to get it. Because Elektra finally moved up there and took him down with a ancient throwing or a throwing sai or whatever. So she couldn't get up there. She had already moved. She had nothing left. So Malekith and Elektra put Marked for Death on X-23, who could move up twice, get it, but
she's just standing there.
She only had 2 health left, and the damage from King of the Hill from objective effects, fast healing effectively always happens last. So if she didn't get an attack off, she would die to it before her own fast healing would go off. So I put the Marked for Death on her so she only has to move slow, or only can move slow. So he moved up and he's like, oh no. So I let him because it was gonna end the game for him. And if he could just move up there and grab it and attack once so we didn't KO from it, he would have won. So I did that and he's like, do you mind if I take that move back? And so I can attack with the Steel Rush equivalent. And I was like, yeah, it's cool, it's fine. But I was like, man, like in a tournament setting or something like that with marked for death being the thing that like takes out a character, how rad would that be, right? Like just like you wouldn't even think of nothing. Oh, I'm just gonna use it. I need to use up as many of my cards as I can.
Right.
Now you're a short mover. And you move up there and you go back and you're like, oh no, and you just, blow up before you score the points.
Oh no.
But it was a really, really, really fun game. We're gonna make some modifications to it and try it again at some point in the future. We took a bunch of feedback from people in chat as well about things that they would do to tweak it a little bit. Taylor and I obviously also stayed up way too late talking about how
I'm sure
do it differently. It's one of those things, right? I always tell Lindsay, I'm like, hey, just so you know, I'm playing Taylor tonight, so I'll see you tomorrow, I guess.
You guys, that over the summer that happened to Danny once too, where she got back super late, and I was like, is everything okay? And she's like, oh yeah, Taylor and I were just talking until like 11 o'clock.
Yep.
After the game was over, and then I came home.
But it was an absolute blast. It was a lot of fun. We hope to do a lot more of stuff like that in the future. And if you want to check that out or see the scenario card that we had for it, that VOD's there, and it'll be on the YouTube very soon. We also got to show off those new tokens, the Gold Friends and the Wild Friends.
Yeah.
We actually had them up on screen and stuff a little bit too. So super appreciate those of you that pre-order those. They're right around the corner. Early November is when those are all going to be shipped out. We're super excited for that. And then at the end of this month, we'll be going over the December releases as well that we'll be putting out for that. Also incredibly excited for those. Those are some really awesome looking new. Super secret. But, Dan, what else? What else is up? What's popping? What's locking? Oh! July.
Oh, yeah, what's this news I don't even know about?
So, we met a guy at ACO. Legion Brian, and it might have been before you got there, but Taylor and I had talked for a bit with him. He runs a gaming store in Syracuse. He's trying to put together a Warhammer, Kill Team, Marvel Crisis Protocol, and Legion convention in the Syracuse area based around the store. Salt City GT is what it's going to be called. It's going to be in July. There's a site up for it now. I don't have the link for it currently, but I can get that information out there. I'll put it in the show notes and stuff.
Okay.
So we're gonna try to go and probably run the MCP portion of it.
Okay.
Right.
I'm down for that.
Right.
I think they started it. That sounds super. The Salt City GT. Our friend Will went to that over the summer. So maybe it was just a 40. I think it was just 40K then. It was just a tournament.
Yeah.
It kind of like Everwinter was just a tournament. Now they're building it into a whole convention weekend, which sounds awesome.
Yeah, so the dude is super cool there. He runs an art store. That's where they sell all their MCP and stuff out of. So, yeah, should be a blast. Have a lot more information about that as things develop.
I'm excited.
That just happened today.
That sounds great.
Yeah. I'll go over more specifics on how that whole thing arrived during the next cleanup phase.
Cool.
Because there was a cool introduction there. It was neat. But, that said, boys, girls, cats, squirrels, thanks for being here. And as always, massive shout out to our patrons, and especially our professional cake sitters and our King Ding doppelgangers. Those honestly, we wouldn't be able to do the things that we do without your support. We really appreciate it, and we rely on it pretty heavily. So thank you so much, especially to Russ. Wow.
Was it Russell?
Russell. Yeah, Russell. Shout out, Russell. But especially Leroy, Tony Hot Hands, Bastian, Bicon, Rob, and Cider Drinker. Really appreciate you guys quite a bit, as well as all our patrons. And when you join patreon.com/professionalcasual, you get access to a ton of stuff. Probably one of the best Discords ever.
Oh my God, it's so good.
It is one of the only ways to get on that Discord. It is a very happening place. A little overwhelming at first. We had some new people join this past week that were like, this is intimidating. There's a lot happening here, but this is probably the best decision I've ever made.
A coworker came up to me and she's like, so I joined the Discord thing. And I was like, oh, great, that was you. Yeah. And she's like, what do I need to do? Like she was like, what is like kind of like what is all this? And I was like, I'll let you know. Don't worry.
It's something you can dip your toe in a little bit at first, hang out in general chat. But listen, if you're into anything, there's probably a channel for it.
Especially if it's nerd related.
Yeah.
There's probably 3 channels for it.
And if you're legitimately, if you're into it, there's probably even more than that. But yeah, it's a super cool place. We've built a community we're very proud of and that we're happy to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much to all our patrons, and you also get access to that Discord from subbing right here on Twitch as well.
Yeah.
So really appreciate all of that. But this next Monday, oh yeah, the power phase.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if we've discussed anything that we're gonna do for that yet. Are you gonna be there?
Not. I don't know. Probably.
Okay. So let us know. Hit us up. If you're in the Discord, let us know what you want to see. We'll do something neat. We'll do something cool.
It's one of those with releases on Friday and then doing the show on Monday. Like, I would love to have Sentinels.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can assemble and paint them that, especially how big the models are. Like maybe I can get them base coated enough to be able to put them on camera, but because we will not have unpainted models on our channel.
Correct.
Just not going to happen.
Correct.
I'll put my foot down.
I mean,
and everybody else also agrees.
So yes. But yeah, so yeah, maybe we'll be able to get something together for that. I would love to play some more Hydra again, so I'm also super stoked for that.
Throw us some fun theme lists in the Discord.
I
have zero problem playing theme lists that people give us. I love doing that stuff.
Actually, I really like that too.
I've had some really good ones.
For the ones Sure Thing gave us that were just all blockbusters were like stellar. What was
blockbusters?
Well, I don't know. They were very good. They like busted my blocks. I don't know.
The ones where somebody lost a hand or arm in the MCU, that was like the best one.
And Michael too. Michael sent us a bunch of really cool ones.
Oh yeah, maybe had a lot of good ones. Sure Thing was the all big bases.
Yeah.
And then like Rocket.
Yep.
Something like that. That I didn't perform well with it, but I thought I liked the idea and I kind of want to retry that at some point.
I also haven't tried Shield yet. If you want to go reverse, you want to go Shield and Hydra, but we play the ones that we didn't play before.
Possibly.
Could do that.
See what the Discord comes up with, and that can be like a backup.
Or, we need to bust out some like Vibranium Heist and some of those older organized play kits and go through those again, especially with for Vibranium Heist, incredibly expanded new rosters.
I wanted to try out Convocation too. I don't think I've ever played that.
Yeah, dude, I really like them. I was talking to Dylan Dyer. He was initially going to be on last week, but just didn't kind of work out. And he loves Wizards, and he's like, I kind of want to bring my Wizards. And I was like, they're awesome, man. Like,
we saw a lot of them at the Midgard Games tournament. They were really good.
Yeah. Well, and I guess that was one of the places I wasn't necessarily expecting Malekith to be popping up regularly, was with a whole bunch of nerds, but that scalpel, strange scalpel on Malekith to get him back into the fight if he gets taken out of it, or to put other people within, Malekith range. Pretty stellar. Pretty stellar.
Maybe try an all teleporter list with Doctor Strange Supreme, Darkstar, Lockjaw, Red Skull.
Do you think you could run a list?
Who else can teleport?
It might have to be in Steve Rogers' Avengers, but like, you never advance, you never move, you only place.
So round one, you just don't go anywhere because you don't have power to do it?
Well, that's why it's like with Rogers, you could.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. But I dig it.
Just places.
Yeah. I mean, round one is probably Red Skull using a cube so he can teleport somebody. And then, what's the Winter Guard? So you can move around with those instead, maybe? They're not places, never mind.
Midnight Sun, so you just bump everywhere?
Yes! No, that's the way to do it. Only big bases like Juggernaut and Hulk and stuff on Midnight Suns, just so you can place somewhat relatively in the right area.
I'm going to call it, I forgot to charge my Fitbit, so they're not taking any steps.
Listen, had some, I don't know if you were on that walk, but had some really, really, really touchy moments with a child that forgot their Fitbit and was losing their mind.
I was not on that walk, thankfully.
Yeah, but anyway.
I was at the hospital with my son instead.
Oh, that's right.
Luckily, he was fine, but we wasted a whole day of vacation on it.
Yeah. Anywho. We're also still looking for blog articlists. So if you're interested in that, shoot a sample to me at tim@professionalcasual.com, or just say that you're interested and give me, just a little bit about what you want to write about, MCP related, or maybe even some other stuff. But we're still looking for people. We do also pay for that, and that's one thing that the Patreon allows us to do is, be able to pay people for their time doing, hopefully, things that they really like.
Yeah. We had one this week.
Yes.
Dr. D did what was it?
Basing Without Fear.
Basing Without Fear. He did a cool alien theme base for the Corvus Glaive. He's been working on through a few blog posts.
It looks rad.
It looks really cool. So make sure to check that out over at the site, professionalcasual.com. Today there was a blog post by some nerd about a different game for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, which is pretty fun too.
But yeah, professionalcasual.com is the place to get that. You can find, once again, all the other stuff for all the other things that we do, actual play podcasts for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and a whole bunch more. We got a really kind of a plethora of really special, exciting things coming down the pipe. So make sure to follow, stay tuned, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really helps us out a lot. And leaving 5-star reviews on Audible, Spotify, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, kind of the whole shebang. If you're thinking about, a really cool list, 5-star review is a great place to leave that, because then it'll be etched in our minds forever, and we'll probably come back to it quite a bit. But outside that, stay safe, everyone. I love you. Have a great day, and thank you for, being you. Bye.
Bye.